God, it was nice and loud. Good evening, everyone. What a nice crowd. It is April 27th, 2023, and I'd like to welcome you all and to call the meeting of the South Brunswick Township Board of Education to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the board secretary has caused notice of this meeting, including date, time, and location, to be posted in the South Brunswick Public Library, the board office, and filed with the township clerk and communicated to the Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger. Mr. Pawlowski, roll call, please.
Mrs. Julie Ferrara. Mrs. Laura Hernandez.
Here.
Mrs. Deepa Karthik.
Here.
Ms. Alicia Khan.
Here.
Mr. Raja Krishna. Mr. Mike Mitchell.
Present.
Mr. Barry Nathanson.
Here.
Dr. Smitha Raj.
Here.
Mrs. Lisa Rogers.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is approval of the meeting agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve tonight's meeting agenda? Ms. Karthik? Mr. Mitchell? Ms. Karthik, second. Thank you. Okay. We're going to just confirm that the minutes that were on the agenda, board minutes of March 9th, executive minutes of March 9th, board minutes of March 16th, and board minutes of March 30th. Mr. Pawlowski's sent the draft of the minutes from both all meetings. Were sent to the board on Tuesday. And are there any corrections to the minutes as distributed from any board member? No, then the minutes stand as written and are approved. Next order of business is the report of the student representative, Ria Krishnan.
Good evening, everybody. Here are just a few save the day announcements about things that are going on in our high school. Our 10th graders have spring fling on Friday, April 28th, tomorrow. Our Chicago musical is on May 4th, 5th, and 6th at 6:30 p.m. Junior prom is on Sunday, May 21st at the Cornucopia Cruise Line. And senior prom is on Friday, June 9th at the Marigold. Our Powder Puff football event is on Wednesday, May 24th at 6 p.m. Our senior sunset is on Wednesday, June 14th in our Valhalla Stadium at SBHS. And graduation is on Friday, June 23rd at Jersey Mike's Arena, and more info is to come about tickets per student, parking, etc. SB Earth's Tree Plenish event is on Saturday, May 13th, and it's $5 per person. We suggest you come and join the club in planting new trees. Our college and career fair was yesterday with over 25 colleges attending. Students got to explore different career options and learn about different programs that different schools had to offer. Over spring break, we had 2 students from South Brunswick High School participate in the New Jersey State Special Olympics bowling tournament held at Bolero in North Brunswick, and this was the final level of competition in the state. Abigail Manna earned a silver medal in her division in the New Jersey State Games for girls, and Abhinay Chaluri earned a 4th place division in his NJ State Game for boys. SBHS congratulates them on their hard work and achievement this entire season. Boys tennis defeated 10th ranked Hillsborough and 4th ranked Ridge on consecutive days last week to vault themselves up to the number 8th ranked team in the state of New Jersey by NJ.com. Number 1 singles player junior Nitin Sankar remains undefeated at 10-0, and sophomore Amrit Manoj Kumar defeated Ridge's number 3 singles player to complete the upset victory. The team is now 10-1 in the season and looking to avenge its opening day loss to East Brunswick on May 5th. Mr. Hendricks helped the team acquire matches with top schools in the states to make this season something special. So thank you so much from the boys tennis team. Moving on to boys golf, Samir Srivastava had a top 20 finish in the Bomber Classic as he shot a score of an 82. So congratulations. For girls golf, the team is off to an 11-2 start and is currently ranked 18th in the state. At the recent Bomber Classic tournament, freshman Liddy Lavaca placed first with a score of 65, 5 under par. Her lowest was the total score in the history of the 8th year event. Also, junior Anushka Sawant placed fourth as a team. The Vikings placed second in a field of 27 teams. We'd also like to thank Mr. Hendricks and his staff for their continued support of the girls' golf team. Sports forms are due to the nurse by Monday, May 1st. All returning and new athletes must submit new sports forms by the deadline in order to try out. Cheer team will hold tryouts for incoming 9th, 10th, and 11th and 12th graders in May, and dance will hold tryouts in June for the fall 2023 season. Details regarding tryouts can be found on the upcoming high school website. And now I just want to update you guys on all the home games that you can attend. On April 28th, we have boys golf versus Monroe, boys lacrosse versus Lawrence, boys tennis versus Bergen Catholic. On April 29th, we have baseball versus St. Joe's, girls lacrosse versus Ewing, and softball versus St. Thomas Aquinas. On May 1st, we have girls golf versus JPS and boys tennis versus JPS. On May 2nd, boys lacrosse versus Old Bridge and girls lacrosse versus Old Bridge. On May 3rd, boys tennis versus Monroe. And on May 4th, boys golf versus Metuchen, boys volleyball versus St. Joe's, and boys tennis versus Colonia. On May 5th, we have boys volleyball versus Monroe, girls lacrosse versus Rutgers Prep, and baseball versus Ewing. And lastly, on May 6th, we have softball versus Monroe. So we hope you join us. Thank you. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you so much. Does the board have any questions? None? Okay, very good. Thank you so much for your update. All right, our next order of business is the report of the superintendent, Mr. Fetter.
All right, so this is no offense to the recipients in the audience tonight, but did you say someone shot a 65?
I was just going
Like a 6 and then a 5?
Yep.
That's amazing.
Okay, I need her number. We have a game this weekend. I need somebody.
She's got to get on our scramble team.
Woof.
It's time for a ringer.
All right, so tonight we have all these people here. We're honoring some of our rock stars in this district. These are our educators, people that do all kinds of jobs in this district, people that are just phenomenal and make a difference in kids' lives every day. So we'll hear more about all of you as we go through the night, but welcome and thank you. And we have all of these great kids here to celebrate them as well. So that's just exciting. It's like one of those great nights, right? We have all these people here for the right reasons. It's awesome. So thank you for coming out tonight, and we'll support them in a little bit. Next order of business, of course, is the Jets got Aaron Rodgers, and thought that was important news for the district. Calendar-wise, on tonight's agenda, you're going to see a revision to this year's calendar. So 2 things are happening. This is pretty good stuff here, actually. We put 3 snow days into a calendar, just in case. And while as much as I love snow calls, hasn't been a snow call in 3 years. This year, those 3 days then become days off from school. The first one was the Monday after spring break. The next 2 are the Friday and the Tuesday attached to Memorial Day. So we have a 5-day break. That was all me. Now, here's my question. Why didn't you cheer for Aaron Rodgers on the Jets that much? Oh. That would have been good. The other part we're adding to the calendar is so get ready to clap again, the Thursday of that same week. So Friday off, Monday off, Tuesday off. The Thursday attached to that is now going to be an early release day. This is going well. This is my kind of meeting. And just so you know, the Jets got Aaron Rodgers. He is going to be there. All right. Had to work that up a bit. So again, the board, you're being asked to adopt that change tonight, and we'll put out an email. I'll email to the community tomorrow to make that official. Another really cool thing, and I'm glad we have some of our musicians here, South Brunswick School District has been recognized as one of the 2023 best communities for music education by the NAM Foundation. I get to announce this almost every year. fantastic. If your students, I know your student, you guys are in it, but we have so many students who engage in our music program, and we have some. Do we have any music teachers here tonight? Well, stand up for a sec. One over there. It's amazing, and this stuff doesn't happen by accident. This is commitment, this is dedication, this is resources going to this, and then the talent. It's the talent of our staff and the talent of these amazing kids. So it's amazing, and I think this is year number 6 for me. I think I've announced this every year. This is a community for music, as many other things. You guys are amazing with this, so thank you all for that. I'm going to keep going with good news tonight. So. We had a coach named Joseph Daugherty here. He was a legendary Vikings wrestling coach. So I'm just going to read a little bit here. Mr. Daugherty, we're going to congratulate him on his selection to the New Jersey chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame in Stillwater, Oklahoma. He has all kinds of accolades, winning as coach. He's won district championships. He's, a beloved coach, teacher here, a true legend in our community. So congratulations, Joe. That's incredible news.
Just so you know, Scott, he's the girls' golf coach. So if you want to call someone, you might want to call Joe.
All right. Rhea, we're putting this on you to get this taken care of.
Joe can shoot the 65.
No.
Next for the board, we put this into your board update. We have a board meeting next week. It is May 4th. We're inviting everyone. Please, if you cannot come out, we hope you come out. It's our big budget meeting. This is the budget hearing. This is the meeting where we ask the board to adopt a budget. I don't want to, make light of the fact that we are in good shape, not great shape, going forward into next year. But we want to explain a lot of the things that we had to do to get there. So we hope that people will come out. If you can't come out, we do understand, watch online, and that's going to be great. Then we have another meeting on May 11th, where we're honoring our PTOs and amongst other things. So for the board, David and I would like to ask you officially, are you open to canceling our May 25th board meeting? If you do, thank you.
Wait a minute.
That was the meeting. Aaron Rodgers was going to come here to speak, but we're not going to have him do that. But that would be the Thursday night before the 5-day. Not sure it's going to be needed. We did add a board meeting. We added next week, so we still have our 2 meetings in May, and the next meeting after that will be their first meeting in June. David, how do you want to officially do that? Is there an official way to do that, or
Just do public notice.
we're just going to public notice it?
Yep.
Is there anyone who wants to? This is not you guys. You guys. Anyone opposed to this? All right, so we'll make the public notice accordingly. Thank you for that. So next week I'm gonna invite 2 people up here before we get started with our main events tonight. But can I have Marty Abschutz and Bobby Binder from the Ed Foundation come on up and make some announcements?
Thank you, Mr. Federer, members of the Board of Education, honored staff members, honored students, and their family and friends. Great to see you all here tonight. My name is Marty Abschutz. I have the privilege and honor of being the president of the Education Foundation of South Brunswick Township. And over the years, we have awarded many, many grants to staff members, and well over $100,000 at this point, and scholarships to graduating seniors, again, well over $100,000. We have a number of different activities during the year. We recently had an adult spelling bee in which the high school team successfully defended its title as the spelling bee champions. That was a lot of fun. And as I hear someone in the high school is clapping in the back, well deserved. They did a great job. We also have a big event coming up in June, which Bobby, who is our treasurer, is going to talk about, and just an early save the date for the beginning of October when we'll have our Taste for Education, which we have a number of different area restaurants come in and you sample different types of food, and we have raffles and tricky trays, and it's a great evening, lots of fun, and we look forward to that at the beginning of October. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Bobby Binder, who is our treasurer.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening. I'm going to go off script a second and attest to the wonderful music department that we have. My 35-year-old son graduated high school here, and he's now a music teacher in Virginia. So. Okay, now I get to have fun. Got to keep it tight. The Tour de South Brunswick will take place on Sunday, June 4th at the high school. I've already put in my request for sunny skies because we did get a little drenched last year. Once again, we'll have 3 routes. The 25-mile route heads towards Route 27 and winds through Kendall Park, Monmouth Junction, and Dayton, with a rest stop at Eagles Landing on Davidson Mill Road. The 10-mile route mostly circles Dayton, and there's a 4-mile route across the street from the high school that also offers a shorter 2-mile route. And of course, we do have the fun walk that's around the campus of the high school. Details of the times are on our website, efsb.org. For those of you unfamiliar with the Tour de South Brunswick, let me give you a brief history. We started the ride back in 2011 with less than 20 participants. Since then, our numbers have swelled before 2020 to over 800 people. We're hoping to continue to gain momentum this year and come close to that number. We give most of our registration fee back to the PE departments at participating schools. Be sure to choose a school when you register for our event because that helps ensure that that school will receive part of the money. Remember, this is an event for people who ride a bicycle and people who want to participate in a walk. All riders and walkers count for school participation. Registration is open now, so please once again visit our website, edfoundationsb.org or efsb.org. And of course, while you can wear anything while you go on the walk, while riding any distance in the Tour de South Brunswick, helmets are 100% required. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. And just add that this is just it's a ride. It's not a race. We're all there to have fun. A successful event is one which everybody goes out. They come back maybe a little bit more tired than they left, but they're all safe and sound. I'd also like to recognize 2 of our fellow board members from the foundation, former school board member Devin Patel and Carolyn Durkis. So. Again, thank you so much.
All right, I have one more guest. So we're going to call up Om Janamanchi, who's going to share with us. I think you brought somebody with you too?
There he is.
There he is. A couple of friends. They came to us a few months back, maybe a little longer than that, and they talked about chess club. And so they've done some work, opened something up at Brunswick Acres. They're going to share that. And here we go.
This is great. So, hello everyone, good evening. I'm Om Janamanchi, a junior at South Brunswick High School. So first off, to begin, thank you, Mr. Fetter, when I emailed you last week to try to book this in and have this so we could talk about the efforts that we've done towards a chess club in South Brunswick. So today, my peers and I, we are here to present our work with the chess club at Brunswick Acres Elementary School, where we started from our continuing passion of chess, where it has grown worldwide to over 100 million people on chess.com specifically, of players and people who are interested in chess and are part of it. So at our chess club at Brunswick Acres right now, we have a range of 3rd grade to 5th grade, which is 52 kids, which that was while we are like, okay, that's like limited number that we had to like restrict to, there was many people who also wanted to be in it. So like in the district, there's a great demand for having a chess club itself. And then once we went, looked at our high school population, over there you can see in our interest forum that we conducted, there's over 200 people who are wanting a chess club at the high school, which is roughly like 87% of our high school currently. And we just like, for the Brunswick Acres Club, we've just done like chess interactive lessons. We've taught them, we've had tournaments, we've taught specialized lessons, prizes, and we have parent feedback form that we did. So like out of that, we got that many people, parents are very excited and happy that there is a chess club at Brunswick Acres, and they would like for us to continue it year round. Yeah, so, and then another reason that we would like a chess club is many other schools in New Jersey, such as J.P. Stevens, Piscataway, Hillsborough, all of them also have a chess club. So why can South Brunswick not also join in the chess party and have a chess club? So the last...
Apparently, if you make it a golf chess club, this might work out.
So like the last part is South Brunswick High School finances. So currently in Brunswick Acres, we have 52 students, which we've charged, I think, $30 from the PTO at Brunswick Acres. So that's like roughly $1,560. And then currently, this is just like a projection of like our potential like partnerships with local businesses in South Brunswick to like fundraise. So for this part specifically, I'd like to emphasize that we actually do have all the chess boards and all the materials at both the high school and the elementary school to fund the club. So we are basically a $0 club. We do not need any funding. So we are, and with all these fundraisers, if anything, we would be like generating lots of revenue and profit for the high school, which the total of that is like $5,400. So that's a lot of money towards the school and like our club to come to fruition. So basically, I'd conclude by saying if 1% is all it takes, this would be our 1%. So yeah, this would be our 1% towards chess club in South Brunswick. So we'd really appreciate if, hopefully, for the high school, and we will be continuing at Brunswick Acres, a chess club next year for not only so many kids, but to create a great place in the community. So I'd like to ask Mr. Ogrodnik, who's helped us start the chess club at Brunswick Acres, to speak a little bit about what we've done.
Good evening. I had a few words that I just wanted to say here, if I could just pull up my notes. I didn't come here to convince tonight, I just came here to provide myself as a witness for what I've seen at Brunswick Acres. I figured that that's the best way that I could present this information, by presenting the facts. There is a student interest in Brunswick Acres that leads me to believe that there is a growing interest in our student body as a whole for there to be chess that is done at an organized level at different school district level buildings. I've had the opportunity to witness the commitment, the energy, and the hard work that is shown by some of the coaches that are standing here with me, but there are also other young men that have come out to help with the chess club that we run at Brunswick Acres Elementary School. So what does this lead me to believe? It leads me to believe that if these coaches are given the chance, that these young men would run an exemplary chess club at the high school level. And the evidence is clear. They give an hour and a half of their time after school to come to the elementary school to set up tables, to set up projectors, and to get the whole thing going, to even work with attendance. They meet with me via Zoom for about 45 minutes to an hour on a weekly basis as well. This isn't to rest on our laurels, this is to reflect and to try to figure out how we can better serve these kids. They show patience and poise and this I know all my fellow educators could appreciate, to stand in front of 52 students to give a 10 to 15-minute chess lesson, which is a feat I can assure you is not easy, but it is amazing that they do it. In short, my goal, I'm sure the goal of many people here, as an educator is, and always will be, to help the young men and women of our community find the best, or at least a better version of themselves. By providing an avenue to allow these young men to put on this club, they are not only finding a better version of themselves, but also enriching the lives of our Brunswick Acres community. And for that, I am grateful. Thank you and good night.
Do you have any questions? If they do.
Does the board have any questions for this wonderful group? None? Well, I just want to say congratulations. You know, when you have something that you're passionate about, you find a way to do it and to succeed. And you're not only just looking at the high school students, you are reaching out to the younger kids, which means a lot, which shows that you are willing to support those that are younger than you in succeeding as well. And as someone, I don't know what you're going to be looking at when you go to college, but your presentation skills are spot on. And let me tell you, when you hit the tagline of the person in charge, that means a lot. So great job, really great job.
Thank you.
So I think we're on the record here, right? This is on the record, this is being filmed?
Yeah.
So Dr. Mammon, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. Why have you don't have any chess clubs, Dr. Mammon? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to work with you.
Yep.
And we're going to figure something out. I don't know what that means yet. But we're going to put some effort to this and see what we can get accomplished. Because what you've made a case for is not just the high school.
Right.
You made a case for bigger than the high school, so you're going to cost us more money, thanks. But what you're saying makes a lot of sense, and we appreciate you doing this.
Thank you.
So thanks for coming out.
Great job.
That does end my report.
Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Again, congratulations, guys. You did a very good job. You should be proud of yourselves. Our next order of business is a recognition event. And tonight we will be recognizing the 2022-2023 educators and the support people of the year. Congratulations to all our honorees on this prestigious award and honor. We are proud, truly proud, to have you in our district, and thank you for all that you do for the students and staff of South Brunswick. I would like to now call to the podium Blair Eisman, Director of Programs and Professional Development. She will be recognizing our honorees, and at this point I'd like to ask the board of members to move to the front row to watch the presentation.
If you're able to see something you want to say. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone, members of the board, tonight's honorees, friends, family, and colleagues. I'm Blair Eisman, Director of Programs and Professional Development, and I have the honor of recognizing this year's educational support people and educators of the year. This is a time-honored tradition in South Brunswick dating back to 1996. The community, staff, students, and parents are invited to submit letters nominating staff members across the district, and then a selection committee has the hard task of reading hundreds of nominations, scoring them using given criteria, and in the end, just 22 are selected, 2 honorees from each school and at the district level. Tonight's honorees inspire learning on a grand scale and make a difference in the lives of students, colleagues, and the school community with their caring support and unwavering work ethic. They're leaders, highly skilled and dedicated to their profession. Thank you to our nomination writers and readers, as well as our administrators who surprised each honoree in their building with the announcement just before spring break, and for also being here tonight. Thank you to our Board of Education for their support, Marianne Murphy, and my assistant, Rachel Collibos, for all the behind-the-scenes work that's really months in the making. A special thank you to the PTO from each building. They purchased one of the honorees' gifts, a desk nameplate for them to display proudly wherever they choose. I'm so grateful for your continued support of this program and that you always kindly agree to be a part of this tradition, and I know we have some PTO members here tonight. An equally special thank you to the South Brunswick Ed Foundation for their generosity. They purchased the second gift that our honorees will receive. It's a frame print that you'll see up here in a few minutes that ties into our theme for the evening. For the first several years in the seat, my inspiration for this recognition came from books I read or characters I met. Last year, however, it came from our very own students, and this year followed suit. I was watching one of our many groups of talented student performers earlier in the year, and I started to think about musical instruments. Musical instruments are an important part of human culture. They speak a universal language and help convey stories, feelings, and messages. They have a powerful way of bringing people together and making memories. They give music structure and are a tool for creating art. Playing an instrument instills discipline, builds confidence, and the ability to work with and learn from others. It even strengthens the two sides of our brain. The music played from an instrument can have a significant impact on social change, make us less stressed and overall happier. And the same could be said about our educators and educational support people, their importance, their impact, their influence, their powers. Individually, they're unique with such special qualities and talents, and if you put them all together, even more magic happens. Tonight's honorees have a special meaning or purpose here among staff, students, and colleagues, and their work and character are known and recognized. They're playing out their song or story here in South Brunswick while helping students and colleagues write their own every day in every way. So as I celebrate each honoree tonight, I'll share with you a musical instrument chosen for them and why, and the frame print from the Ed Foundation that they will be receiving. But first, I'd like to ask Mrs. Rogers, hey, to join me at the podium to congratulate our honorees. I'll also ask Brooks Crossing and Brunswick Acres honorees and administration to stand along the wall here, and when one school sits, if I could ask that the other starts to come up. So Brooks and BA, if you make your way down. All right. So without further ado, I'll start at Brooks Crossing with Mrs. Jackie Bigelow, fourth grade teacher. She is being given the ukulele, which has a happy, joyful tone and exudes warmth. It's a social instrument with Hawaiian history. Somewhere Over the Rainbow is considered the ukulele's anthem. I'm sure you know it. It's a song about hope and the fact that dreams can come true. With Mrs. Bigelow's love, encouragement, and dedication to reaching every one of her students, her classroom space is indeed a wonderful world where kids believe they can achieve anything. Congratulations. Jackie, come on down. They're related. Mrs. Michelle Seema is Student Information Secretary at Brooks Crossing. We sometimes joke between Jamie and I, she's actually really the boss. She is being given the French horn. The French horn could be tremendously powerful, but it's also warm and mellow. The cello serves as a bridge between woodwind and brasswind instruments. And bridges connect people and are a support. They're an outstretched hand. Bridges are stable, they hold you up, and nothing describes Mrs. Seema's care, work, and presence in the main office at Brooks Crossing better. Congratulations. All right. Mrs. Teresa Gabler. Sorry, Gabler. Mrs. Teresa. Yeah, I was right. I doubted myself. Gabler. Mrs. Teresa Gabler, speech and language specialist, Brunswick Acres, is being given the oboe. The oboe has a distinct sound with a sweet singing quality. It adds flair and sparkle to a composition and translates thoughts and feelings into music so touching and meaningful. Mrs. Gabler is essential to Brunswick Acres, an out-of-the-box thinker and a wealth of knowledge. A colleague said, "She's made me a stronger, more confident clinician. She just has that effect on people." Congratulations. Oh, I gave it away. Ms. Stacy Ellison, paraprofessional for students with autism at Brunswick Acres, is being given the viola. The viola is a supporting sound in the orchestra, just as Ms. Ellison is a support to teachers and students. Violas complement parts of a melody with a personality of their own. They're made from a variety of materials to maximize performance. Students recognize that Ms. Ellison will do whatever it takes to keep them safe and make learning a fun experience for them while in her care. She is always involved in making an impact in the lives of students. Congratulations. Mrs. Kristen Hopkins, special ed teacher from Cambridge, is being given the cello. The cello has an enchanting sound that's deep, rich, and vibrant. A cellist plays the instrument sitting down, and it looks as if they're hugging it. Mrs. Hopkins embraces each and every one of her students, their strengths and needs to help them learn, build their confidence, and provide them with security. The cello is a large instrument, which is fitting because Mrs. Hopkins' knowledge and heart are too. Congratulations. Congrats. Mr. Shelton Bryant, head custodian at Cambridge, is being given the mandolin. The mandolin is close to the sound of the guitar but has a more glittering sound. It's found mostly in folk and bluegrass music, which is a type of traditional music passed down through families. It's more than evident that Mr. Bryant is an integral part of the Cambridge family. A student said he's a leader, a role model, and a caretaker. He makes people smile while keeping the building in the best possible shape. Congratulations. Mrs. Sarah Thornton, special ed teacher at Constable, is being given the bagpipes. The bagpipes produce a constant sound the same way she provides consistency to her colleagues, students, and families. When playing the bagpipes, the bag is pressed when the piper wants to take a breath. Mrs. Thornton helps people take those needed breaths. Bagpipes are a symbol of strength, fierceness, and fight, and believed to have magical qualities. And if you've seen Mrs. Thornton teach, advocate, or lead, you know that describes her well. Congratulations. Mrs. Deborah Crutan, special ed paraprofessional at Constable. She was unable to be here tonight, so Mrs. VC, principal at Constable, don't go, will accept the recognition for her. Mrs. Crutan is being given the bongo drum. The bongos give music remarkable stability. When playing, you combine your fingers and hands to get many notes in a short time. They're also used as a learning tool and play a very improvisational role. Mrs. Crutan does so much. She loves her students and celebrates their accomplishments. She's always looking for new ways to support them socially, academically, and behaviorally. The teachers and students know that they could count on her.
Thank you. I'll make sure she gets it.
Thank you. All right. Unfortunately, both of our recipients at Greenbrook cannot be here tonight, but Jody Mahoney and Lisa Rogel, principal and assistant principal, are here to accept. First up is Mrs. Jane Richards, formerly Sandberg, a kindergarten teacher at Greenbrook Elementary. She is being given the saxophone. The saxophone has had a profound influence on various genres of music, the same way Mrs. Richards has influenced students and colleagues. It pulls listeners into a spell, and those little kindergartners sure are captivated by her. The saxophone has gone through all the currents, but has remained exactly the same. It's seen as a leader, a team player, and a soloist. Mrs. Richards thrives in all three of those roles. Congratulations to her. Mrs. Gina Holder, administrative assistant at Greenbrook. She is being given the harmonica. The harmonica is modest with a subdued intensity. It means tuneful and harmonious. Mrs. Holder brings harmony to the main office and the Greenbrook community overall. Her communication and efficiency are her strengths. She treats everyone as if they're one of her own, staff and students, and enjoys watching them grow year to year. It's said that one of the most favorite songs with the harmonica is Heart of Gold by Neil Young. If you know Mrs. Holder, you know that's exactly what her heart is made of. Mrs. Lorraine Caswell, first grade teacher at Indian Fields, is being given the double bass. The double bass is incredibly powerful, flexible, and provides the foundation for the orchestra's sound, the same way Mrs. Caswell provides a solid foundation for her students and their learning. The double bass's tones are warm and deep, and it's played using a variety of techniques. Mrs. Caswell has a wealth of knowledge as an educator. Her hard work and dedication consistently stand out. She is a leader amongst her colleagues and also supports our newest teachers as a mentor, which is fitting because the double bass is said to support the rest of the orchestra. Congratulations. Congrats. Mr. Miguel Pena, paraprofessional, Indian Fields, is being given the electric guitar. The electric guitar is versatile, capable of producing a wide range of sounds. It played an important part in the history of rock and roll, just as Mr. Pena is an important part of the Indian Fields family. He makes students feel safe and comfortable, cared for and important during lunch and recess. He embodies the principles of responsive classroom. He has a positive disposition and is a role model for students. The electric guitar uses electromagnetic technology, and Mr. Pena has a magnetic personality with all students feeling connected to him. Congratulations. Congrats. Miss Carly Sarnowski, fifth grade teacher, new to fifth grade this year, Monmouth Junction, is being given the clarinet. The clarinet is a relative newcomer among woodwind instruments. Its warmth blends beautifully with all instruments, as Miss Sarnowski does at MJ. The clarinet is graceful, agile, soft, and strong. A colleague shared Miss Sarnowski consistently seeks best practices in teaching and learning, and her inclusive and equitable practices optimize student achievement. The clarinet is a major source of inspiration for composers, and Miss Sarnowski is too. She's creative, a leader, and a critical thinker. Congratulations. Mrs. Rena Agrawal couldn't be here tonight, but Principal Mike Sheese is here to accept in her honor. Mrs. Agrawal is being given the drums. The drums are intricate with 10,000 moving parts. They are unique because they could play both melody and harmony simultaneously. Mrs. Agrawal somehow accomplishes so many things in a day to support staff and students. Band leaders and composers rely on the drums the same way that MJ relies on Mrs. Agarwal. Mrs. Agarwal takes on any task with a positive attitude, and she is an advocate for all students. Congratulations to her. There he is. Their seats are labeled Mr. Heffentrager's cheering section, so they're following the rules. Mr. George Heffentrager, music specialist, also band director at Crossroads North Middle School, and he is being given the trombone. I couldn't pick a string instrument. A trombone has consistency, technical prowess, and excellent intonation. The sounds are consistent and create awe-inspiring harmonies. The trombone shares in the responsibility of establishing style and articulation, and it has the ability to listen closely and lead to ensure all are playing together. Mr. Heffentrager's impact and influence on our district music program has been vast, and we are fortunate to have him on our team. His teaching style is energetic, entertaining, and inspiring. His passion for music is infectious, and he shared his expertise by serving as a cooperating teacher and mentor to many pre-service music educators. How's that for awe-inspiring? Congratulations. 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 Thank you. Mrs. Mary Ellen Goglin couldn't be here tonight, but Principal Kimberly Bino is here to accept. Mrs. Goglin is being given the violin. The violin has evolved and perfected over time. It has a bright tone that arises above the rest of the string section. Mrs. Goglin is steady and reliable. She knows middle school children well, and she cares about them and their welfare deeply. The violin is part of various traditions all over the world, as Mrs. Goglin is part of the traditions and fabric of Crossroads North. Congratulations to her. Miss Jody Bruca, who won for the most family and friend members in attendance tonight. Social studies teacher at Crossroads South Middle School, and she is being given the flute. The flute is a leader in the woodwind section, capable of conveying different emotions. Like the clarinet, it also blends beautifully with all instruments. It's calming, light, rich, and caring. A colleague said Mrs. Bruca went beyond just teaching the curriculum. She taught us about life and that everyone deserves love. When kids were asked why they love her so, they all said, because she cares about us. Like a flute, she creates beautiful melodies for staff and students every day. Congratulations. Congratulations. Mrs. Sylvia Rosario, paraprofessional at Crossroads South Middle School, is being given the harp. In legend and folklore, the harp is credited with having supernatural powers. It has a place in many traditions. Harp means pluck, or in other words, to take hold of. It's a symbol of Ireland, reflecting pride, and its sound is described as majestic, gentle, and brilliant. Mrs. Rosario is a champion for students, especially those whose native language is Spanish. She could be found tutoring students in the hall because she is an educator at heart. A colleague said Mrs. Rosario is the reason our students do not miss a beat and ultimately thrive. She takes hold of them and gives them her all. Congratulations. Mr. Stephen Dentler, mathematics teacher at South Brunswick High School, is being given the trumpet. The trumpet has a powerful musical presence presence is versatile and flexible. The sound is bright, brilliant, and exciting. It's played in all types of music, but in jazz, it's a natural leader. Mr. Dentler's dedication and devotion to his students are unparalleled. He instills a love of learning and feelings of self-worth. He connects with his students on a personal level, and his knowledge, teaching style, and presence is important, valued, and one of a kind. Congratulations. Congratulations. Mrs. Susan Gallo, special education teacher, paraprofessional, special education paraprofessional at South Brunswick High School, is being given the guitar. There are different words to describe a guitar's tone: shimmer, bloom, open, sparkle. There's a human quality to the tones. The guitar could be played in many different ways and reveals the personality of the person playing it. It's a symbol of cultivation, and Mrs. Gallo cultivates strong relationships with her students and colleagues who quickly turn into lifelong friends. A colleague said the Life Skills program is not a path many choose, but it has seemed to choose her. She's an advocate, she's dedicated, she's a team player, and she's continuously looking to see how she can grow to better serve her students. Congratulations. Congratulations. Mrs. Jennifer Hildeman, occupational therapist across the district. She is being given the tuba. The tuba plays the deepest notes, and Mrs. Hildeman cares deeply for her students. The sound of a tuba is mellow, soft, and round to convey a feeling of safety, just as she does for her students. The tuba captivates listeners and has gone through a lot of changes and growth to reach its final form. Her dedication, knowledge, and passion are celebrated. She demands equity and inclusion for her students, and as a colleague said, she represents all of the qualities that make our district so special. Congratulations. Congrats. And at the district level, Mrs. Diane Copeland, bookkeeper, is being recognized tonight. However, she couldn't be in attendance, so Mr. Pulowski will be accepting in her honor. Mrs. Copeland is being given the xylophone. What distinguishes the sound of a xylophone is the impression of precision it creates. It's useful in teaching music. It's bright, sharp, transparent. Mrs. Copeland interacts with every department, receiving and processing purchase orders to keep all things running around here. Her work family appreciates her levity and sense of humor. A xylophone is also used as a special effects instrument, and Mrs. Copeland has a special effect on her SBST family, especially at the board office. Her ability to communicate and pay attention to detail is commended. Congratulations to her. And because it doesn't feel right to talk about instruments and not have any music, the Crossroads North Jazz Band is here tonight with our honoree, Mr. George Heffentrager, to help us celebrate and close out our program. So we're going to give them a couple minutes to head up to the stage.
Good job. I wanted to see one in the awards. I want to see what they look like. Are they crystal? What do they look like?
No, so it's that print, but in a matted frame.
Okay, so it's not an actual physical 3D thing. It's just on the print. Okay.
Yeah.
I serve as the honor and privilege to be one of the band directors here at Crossroads North. Thank you so much to Ms. Eisman for inviting us here tonight. Thank you to the board for everything that you give to us. This is a product of the Before School program that we meet a couple mornings a week. And as Mr. Fetter said earlier, the resources that you allocate to this program, hopefully by what you're about to hear, represents exactly everything of the good and the bad decisions that you must make, the tough calls, that we honor those tough calls and we show you that those calls are worth making. Again, to the other nominees and their honorees tonight, congratulations. I'm sorry, it's home field advantage, so I apologize if my section's a little bigger. That's what Ms. Barry said, was very funny. Our first chart is called Land of Make-Believe. Flugelhorn solo, which was not one of the instruments mentioned, but featuring Kayla Herrera and Shari Suresh and Kelvin Leo on their instruments. So I hope you enjoy. change of pace. We're going to move to a little fun little rock chart for you. This is an original piece by the composer John Phelps. Apologize for turning my back to you. Entitled Wind Dancer, featuring 3 of our soloists tonight, plus our drum set player. You'll see Kelvin and Girick on trombone, as well as Justin on the bass, the keyboard bass in the back, and then Saharsh on drums. This is titled Wind Dancer. So ironically, I was given the instrument of trombone. It was not planned. So the last chart of the night, I have to give it to you, is a trombone feature featuring our trombone and baritone section. Not planned, but pretty good. Where's Miss Eisman? That was pretty good. My primary saxophone, so that was my thought. You heard all the kids groan because they're like, oh, they thought I missed my instrument, but trombone's just as good, and you're about to hear it. So this is my buddy featuring the trombone section. Manasa, Lee, Kelvin, and Geert will also solo tonight. This will be our last number of the evening. Again, it is our pleasure and honor to play here tonight with you, and we're very excited to share. We are the Crossroads North Jazz Band, and have a great rest of the evening and meeting.
One more round of applause for Mr. Heffentrager and the Crossroads North Jazz Band. That concludes the end of our recognition program. Congratulations to all of you. We hope that tonight you feel as special as you are to every single one of us. I invite the board members to head on back, and I will turn it over to Mrs. Rogers. Thank you, Mrs. Binder.
Okay, so we'll bring the meeting back to order. Before we get started, I did want to say thank you to Blair. You did a great job. And also they left already, but to Marty and Bobby and the Education Foundation for working with the district in providing the recognition award. It's really important for those listening that we support the Education Foundation in their endeavors, because it is because of them that we're able to do what we could do tonight. And I think that the district should be very, very proud of itself. Who does not love South Brunswick? I mean, this was just an awesome, awesome night. And the kids are amazing. And I do have an idea, Mr. Fetter. I think we should have a jazz cafe. We could raise money and help offset the expenses.
There you go. Good job.
think it would be a great idea. I think it'd be fun, right? Cup of coffee. There you go. See that? To my backyard. Come in the backyard. I think it would be an awesome idea. Okay, so everybody has gone, and which is a good thing because, you know, the NFL draft is tonight. And I don't care about Rodgers, but I got to see who goes on the Giants. So got to go watch the draft. All right, our next order of business is the first reading of our policies. Policy number 5512, 8600, and 7510 with Ms. Karthik will provide. Here's my pen. You could start. Yeah, the first reading.
Okay. Right. Thank you, President Rogers. The policy committee met on 25th of April. In attendance was myself, Arisha Khan, Mr. Feder, Kim Mallow-White, and Mr. Pulaski. We reviewed the policy 7510, which is the facility use. We adjusted language that pertains to user groups to align with the operations committee's work on rates. We also added language that addresses large group events and specific requirements that these events will have to adhere to prior to and during their event. We also reviewed Alert 230. These policies will be on the next agenda for the first read. We also reviewed 8600, the transportation policy. This was updated to include statutes that pertain to courtesy busing as well as hazardous routes. 5512, the HIP policy was updated as per the Strauss estimate to allow the district discretion with regard to investigations. We made some edits to this policy. 5722, the student journalism policy is ready for adoption, and you will see that on your consent agenda today. This outlines the student publications and their rights within the school district. President Rogers, that concludes my report.
Good. Any questions for the first reading of the policies? None at this time. Very good. We will move on to hear committee and liaison reports. I'm going to ask Ms. Karthik if she would just continue to provide us with the update for her committee because of we'll just tag along on the policies. You can provide an update on your committee.
Yeah, so the update that
Do you
I
have
provided.
anything else that you?
No, there's
Okay.
nothing additional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, then we will continue with the Education Committee report.
Thank you, President Rogers. So the Education Committee met today before the board meeting at 6 p.m. here at North. In attendance were President Rogers, Mrs. Karthik, Mrs. Hernandez, Mr. Morales, Ms. Lockburn, Dr. Mahmood, Mr. Feder, and there were no new items on the agenda. We were just going through the old agenda items and things that we have been discussing for the past two meetings. I will have a detailed report ready by our next meeting, and I'll let everybody know.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Education Committee? Okay, moving on. Business Operations Committee, Mr. Nathanson.
We don't, I gave an update last time, right? Yeah, there's no more, we haven't met since my last update.
Very good, thank you. Finance Committee, Mr. Mitchell, any update?
Madam President, I have no report at this time. However, the Finance Committee will meet on Monday, May 1st at 7 p.m.
Very good. And at this point, there is no update on Negotiations Committee report. We will provide one as soon as we can. Any liaison reports, starting to my right? Any liaison? No? Any to the left? Ms. Dr. Raj?
Okay. So yesterday there was a science fair for the middle school here at North, actually, and it was very impressive to see the turnout and also the quality of presentations. The students were very enthused about their presentations, and the STEM program. It's running an awesome. It's doing an awesome job, and it was very good to see all the budding scientists in the district. So a big thanks to everybody who organized, and Dr. Raj in particular. That's the report from.
Great. Anyone else? No? All right, I just have a few things. A reminder that the Board of Ed retreat is scheduled for May 2nd and will start promptly at 6 p.m. I will be forwarding the agenda to all by the end of day tomorrow. And also thank you to all who have submitted ideas. They've been added. The poll for the May 2024 retreat has been completed, and members have agreed to May 7th, 2024. That will be noted on the board meeting schedule, and the public will be notified, as always, through Board Secretary Pawlowski. So he will add that as well. Finally, both Ms. Ferrer, Board Member Ferrer, and I had the opportunity to join students and staff from multiple social studies classes to experience the U.S. Coast Guard landing one of their helicopters on the baseball field. This was just an amazing experience, and I'd like to give a shout out to Air Station Atlantic City Coast Guard, members of the South Brunswick High School Social Studies Department for their amazing work in planning this event, along with the support provided by the school administration, custodial, and grounds crew, along with the South Brunswick Police, Fire, and EMS services to ensure student safety. This was an amazing event, and it took a lot of work and collaboration by everyone involved. I did speak with one of the students who had already enlisted in the Coast Guard. He's going to go after graduation, and his comment to me was that this opportunity really brought more to life, and he is very excited. So congrats to him and to all the graduates that will be joining the military. Moving on, our next public comment public comments on agenda items only. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters and community interest. Complete copies of the rules that govern this portion of the meeting are available to the public online at the back of the room, or you can obtain an advanced copy by contacting the board office during regular business hours. We do reserve the right to limit each speaker to no more than 3 minutes. Mr. Pawlowski will indicate when you have 15 seconds remaining. It is our plan to listen to each member of the public. We will note all questions and comments made. Once all questions and comments from all members of the public are made, the Board of Ed will respond, if necessary, to questions or comments in the most timely and efficient manner available. Please consider not repeating questions or comments made by other members of the public. When recognized, please approach the podium and state your name, place of residence, and/or your group affiliation. The first public comment is for just agenda items only. There will be a second opportunity for the public to comment on any matter. Mr. Pawlowski, do we have any members of the public who pre-registered?
No registrations at this time.
Thank you. Are there any members in the audience who wish to make a public comment? Seeing none, we will close this portion of the public comments. Next order is old business. Since there is none, we will move on to new business, and at this time there is no new business. Next order of business is the April 27, 2023 consent agenda review by Mr. Pawlowski.
So our agenda this evening, consent agenda, is pretty brief. We have our typical business transfers, financials, bills list, and we're approving some allocation of funding for our Chapter 192, 193. We did do a lot of bidding for transportation. So you'll see transportation bids and awards in 1.5, and we have in 1.6 a purchase over the bid limit for a security project that's happening across the district, replacing all of the swipe entries in all of the doors across the entire district. The current system's past its useful life. We also have Part B of this motion, a bid beyond the above the bid limit, purchase above the bid limit for custodial supplies at $62,000. That's for the entire district to get their cleaning, floor waxing, and cleaning supplies for the entire summer. We have a withdrawal from maintenance reserve to support 1.6A. The funding for that I explained in the board update. Was to support that transfer from the maintenance reserve is to support the project for the technology door swipes. We have a sale of buses, still selling some buses, old buses. We have some school advertising renewal, second adoption of reading, which our board member, Mrs. Carthick, reviewed for student journalism. And then we have our business travel. We have our harassment, intimidation, bullying reports. We have our student field trips. We also have an out-of-district tuition adjustment and placements. We will move forward with an extension of professional services for our special education department. And we are accepting some funds. This is our motion to accept our additional stabilization aid and an explanation of what those funds will be used for. And then you have your personnel, and that's my update.
Any questions
Or-
for Secretary Pulaski?
Consent agenda.
Oh, let me just recognize you. So you, Ms. Ferreira.
In reference to 1.110, 1.10, second reading and adoption of policies, the alert for student journalism, is it a change in policy?
It's a new policy.
It's a new policy, and why, is there any information why it was developed?
It's already
Yeah,
done.
it was all, excuse me?
It's already done, first reading?
Yeah, it's already been through the first read. This is the second read and adoption.
Okay.
So it was required to provide clarification on student rights with regards to publications that are produced at the high school level.
Okay. I just wondered if there had been problems at the
None.
high school in regard to this. It's just a formal policy change.
It's a new policy.
It's a new policy.
Mhm.
And we've adopted it.
We're
gonna adopt it now.
adopting it tonight.
The first reading took place already, just like the first readings that took place tonight of the 3 items on the agenda that Ms. Carthick read.
Remember, once you get the first read, they go up on the portal. Everybody gets them for 2 weeks.
Okay,
And then at the next board meeting, you see them for second read and adoption.
okay. So this is first reading.
This is a second
This
read.
is the second
And
reading.
adoption.
And adoption.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Carthick?
Mr. Pulaski, I had a question on 1.6.
Which, can you just say which one?
1.6.
1.6.
If you could just, for the benefit of the community, also explain the upgrade that we're doing, or the upgrade project for the access control door system. If you could just explain what that is and what's the time frame?
This project is to be completed before the opening of school in next September, so it's a summer project.
Okay. And this is impacting all our schools in the district, right?
Yes, every school in the district, all of the door swipes, and there's additional equipment or additional services with the project that allow school administration to manipulate door locks and lock buildings down remotely from an app or open.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board members to my right?
Just a comment.
Oh, 1 second. No? Okay. Comment?
Yeah, just a comment. So,
Talk
few
into
months ago, we approved the Gettysburg trip for middle school, and this time we are approving the Hershey's. So it's very exciting, and it feels like we are back to normal now.
Yes.
Finally.
You're absolutely right. It's very good. Thank you. Any other comments?
No one else.
Okay. Oh, wait. Ms. Hernandez?
Am I class trips? That's what we're talking about. The best. They are the best. A big advocate for them.
Very
so
good.
glad that we're back to doing that again.
Thank you. Any other? Mr. Fetter?
I'm just going to read 1.17 for the community. This is an acceptance of funds. I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to read this, but this is pure garbage. And that is my word. They are telling us, the state is telling us, we're going to accept funds they just took from us. They just took $738. That's after they took $4 million. They took $4 million. They didn't give us anything. You're being asked to accept funds, which I hope you do, because if you don't, we don't get the funds. But this is not an acceptance of funds.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. You don't take, this is like me going to someone's house and taking 5 $100 bills and then giving them back 3 of them and asking for them to say thank you. That's what this is. So I'm going to read it. Upon recommendation, my recommendation, that the Board of Education, you, accept additional stabilization aid in the amount, it's not additional anything. It's ours. Additional what? In the amount of $2,681,000. These funds will assist the district in providing an educational experience as the state cut $9,148,000 in funding over the past 5 years and is expected to cut an additional $6 million. But that's not all of it. When they're giving us $2,681,000, they give it to us with a note. The note says, with absolute clarity, we're not giving this to you again. Which means we start next year's budget process minus $2,681,000 before we wake up in the morning. Do not, this community, do not believe that there's anything being given to this district right now. While you will hopefully accept 1.17, in no way is this a gift. Keep that analogy in your head. I go into your house, I steal 5 $100 bills, I give back 3 of them and ask you to say thank you. That is what this 1.17 is doing right now. Ridiculous. Next year, come to the meeting next week, May 4th. We will share the impact for next year, and we're also going to share the impact of what this community should expect from our Department of Education and State of New Jersey Governor, Senate, Assembly. They are telling us to expect a cut somewhere around $10 million. But maybe they'll be nice after they take the $10 million. Maybe we can go beg for some scraps and see if they'll give us some of it back. Thank you.
They basically threw us a bone. That's how I look at it. Us as well as the other districts. They are touting themselves and patting themselves on the back that they gave $103 million to the districts that were loud and complaining. And this fight isn't over yet. And I hope that you all join in supporting this effort. Thank you, Scott. Any questions, additional questions for Mr. Pawlowski? Very good. Let's move on and have a motion and second for the consent agenda of April 27, 2003. Mr. Nathanson moved. Ms. Hernandez second. Roll call, Mr. Pawlowski.
Remember, everybody, you have some abstentions that were left at your table. Ms. Julie Ferrara?
Agenda item A112, 1.12.
Mrs. Laura Hernandez?
I accept, except I abstain from agenda item A.1.12M.
Mrs. Deepa Karthik?
Approved, abstaining from agenda item A.1.12-N.
Alicia Khan?
I approve, except for I'm abstaining from agenda item A.1.12-Q.
Mr. Raja Krishna?
Approved, but abstaining from agenda item A.1.12-O.
Mr. Mike Mitchell?
Abstaining from agenda item A.1.12-K, yes to everything else.
Mr. Barry Nathanson?
Yes, abstaining from agenda item A 1.12J.
Dr. Smitha Raj?
Abstaining from agenda item A.1.12-L and accept on the rest.
Mrs. Lisa Rogers.
Accepts all with the abstention on A 1.12-I. And just to be clear, these abstentions are regarding the attendance of the Board of Ed's members to the Atlantic City NJSBA convention.
Correct.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to the second public comments. This is the second opportunity for the public to comment on any matter. You are reminded that the board recognizes the value of comments on educational issues, and you are limited to 3 minutes. Again, at the podium, state your name, place of residence, and or your group affiliation. Mr. Pawlowski, any members of the public who pre-registered?
Not at this time.
Are there any audience members who wish to make a public on any, make a public comment on any item? Seeing none, we will close this portion of the public comments. No further business to be discussed. Please note that the scheduled Board of Ed meeting is set for Thursday, May 4th, 2023, where the final budget for 2023-2024 school year will be voted upon. We will be moving into executive session. So be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Township of South Brunswick hereby moves into executive session in accordance with the Sunshine Law, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 NJSA 10.4-6 through 10.4-21 to discuss the following matters: personnel matters and student matters. Be it further resolved that the discussion conducted in exec session can be disclosed to the public at any time as the matters have been resolved. Formal action may be taken at any meeting. May I have a motion and a second to move into executive session? I have a motion by Dr. Raj and Mr. Krishna. All in favor? Very good, thank you. Hearing no objection, we will be moving into executive session. Thank you for attending and have a pleasant evening, South Brunswick.